Welcome. Today we will read Lesson 3 in the workbook and from the text, Chapter 1, Section 1, The Principles of Miracles, 13 through 24. And now for Lesson 3. I do not understand anything I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place. Apply this idea in the same way as the previous ones, without making distinctions of any kind. Whatever you see becomes a proper subject for applying the idea. Be sure that you do not question the suitability of anything for application of the idea. These are not exercises in judgment. Anything is suitable if you see it. Some of the things you see may have emotionally charged meaning for you. Try to lay such feelings aside and merely use these things exactly as you would anything else. The point of the exercises is to help you clear your mind of all past associations, to see things exactly as they appear to you now, and to realize how little you really understand about them. It is therefore essential that you keep a perfectly open mind, unhampered by judgment, in selecting the things to which the idea for the day is to be applied. For this purpose, one thing is like another, equally suitable and therefore equally useful. This lesson naturally follows from the first two lessons. One is unable to understand what one sees if one does not know what anything means. Lesson 1. And that one has given everything one sees all the meaning it has for oneself. Lesson 2. The purpose of these early lessons is to open one's mind to new ideas by putting in question past beliefs and assumptions that interfere and block one's awareness. These lessons are wanting one to recognize how little one really understands about the nature of the world. And one also is reminded today to apply the ideas to all selected items indiscriminately and making no exceptions. And now for our text reading for today from chapter 1, section 1, the principles of miracles, 13 through 24. Miracles are both beginnings and endings, and so they alter the temporal order. They are always affirmations of rebirth, which seem to go back, but really go forward. They undo the past in the present, and thus release the future. Miracles bear witness to truth. They are convincing because they arise from conviction. Without conviction, they deteriorate into magic, which is mindless and therefore destructive, or rather the uncreative use of mind. Each day should be devoted to miracles. The purpose of time is to enable you to learn how to use time constructively. It is thus a teaching device and a means to an end. Time will cease when it is no longer useful in facilitating learning. Miracles are teaching devices for demonstrating it is as blessed to give as to receive. They simultaneously increase the strength of the giver and supply strength to the receiver. Miracles transcend the body. They are sudden shifts into invisibility, away from the bodily level. That is why they heal. A miracle is a service. It is the maximal service you can render to another. It is a way of loving your neighbor as yourself. You recognize your own and your neighbor's worth simultaneously. 19. Miracles make minds one in God. They depend on cooperation because the sonship is the sum of all that God created. Miracles, therefore, reflect the laws of eternity, not of time. Miracles reawaken the awareness that the spirit, not the body, is the altar of truth. This is the recognition that leads to the healing power of the miracle. Miracles are natural signs of forgiveness. Through miracles, you accept God's forgiveness by extending it to others. Miracles are associated with fear only because of the belief that darkness can hide. You believe that what your physical eyes cannot see does not exist. This leads to a denial of spiritual sight. Miracles rearrange perception and place all levels in true perspective. This is healing because sickness comes from confusing the levels. Miracles enable you to heal the sick and raise the dead because you made sickness and death yourself, and can therefore abolish both. You are a miracle, capable of creating in the likeness of your Creator. Everything else is your own nightmare and does not exist. Only the creations of light are real. We are told here that miracles involve an alteration of one's sense of time by one being reborn into the present moment, having been released from thoughts of the past, and thus resulting in the future being newly formed and thus seen differently. Thus, miracles are both beginnings and endings, and so alter the temporal order. Miracles are teaching devices for demonstrating that blessings are given to both the giver and to the receiver. They acknowledge the worth of both giver and receiver. Miracles are also signs that forgiveness has occurred and affirm that spirit and not the physical world is the source of all truth.